Why is my camera not on? Let me fix that real quick. But the microphone's working, so what's up, everybody? Welcome to Froggy Stonks. Nothing I say is financial advice, entertainment purposes only, not a financial advisor. Let me figure out why my camera isn't working. Not getting nothing. Let's give that a shot. See what she does. What is going on here? Anyways, I wanted to talk today about AMC and Hycroft and the implications of the options chain. Boom. There we are. Options chain. Hoyles. Let's go. $15 strike. 22,846 call options. Opened up Monday at less than 10,000. Immediately within the week, we have another 11 to 12,000 options, call options open on the strike price, and another 5,000 open on the $14 strike price. And the price action we're seeing today is a direct result of that. They're trying to keep it below those strike prices. It's pretty ridiculous at this point that we are still playing this game with them. They are using the options chain to suppress the strike, suppress the price. It's absolutely insane. Still trying to work on my camera here. I apologize. I have no clue what's going on today. It's like they decided to just shut me down. And there we go. Now you can see my beautiful face. So yeah, so what we've been talking about for over a month. No options May, no options to November. Last week, they let a bunch of call options fall into the money. Everybody was super excited. Okay, let's give them a win. Let's give them a 1 week win. And then next week, we'll jump them again and start the process all over. What they are doing is they are manipulating retail options traders into bad plays based on hype. They're giving up a lot of hopium, and they did last week. The problem is the market makers are loading these options up to bait you in. So all they have to do is restructure their puts and their call options on the flow to meet their best, most beneficial profit loss, gain or loss. They have algorithms that run this stuff and calculate this stuff faster than you can possibly think. So they bait you in. They do a quick pump and dump. You jump into these call options. People get wrecked at the end of the week like they are this week, losing their premiums, funding market makers like Citadel. And the beauty of it is Citadel front runs this every day because they have payment for order flow. They pay the brokers for the options order flow so they can see what you are doing, so they can plan how they're going to rig the options chain to take your premium and to make money on the downside of the stock. Options and meme stocks with focused retail investment money is nothing but a liquidity drain on the company. People who are playing these volatility swings on the options chain on retail meme stocks, right? Ape stocks, they're bleeding the money out of the market. That's all they're doing. Options trading on these when you're supposed to be buying and hodling is nothing but an advanced form of paper handing. Selling covered calls this entire time is nothing but draining liquidity out of the stock and playing the downside of the stock. If you're selling covered calls, you are helping on the downward pressure of the stock, right? It's just so simple, you guys. People are like, well, I sold covered calls and made more money and I bought more AMC. I highly doubt that the majority of people who were selling covered calls were putting their money back into AMC stock. I highly doubt that. I just don't believe it. The truth of the matter is direct raw buying pressure is what made the stock go to $72. It's what took us from $10 back to $16, and it is what is causing the cost to borrow and the short interest to rise rapidly these past 2 weeks. Short interest was over 23% at one point, with cost to borrow hitting 13% on AMC, which is the highest we've seen in a long time. It is because people have refocused into buying the stock at the lower prices, which is causing our price action right now, putting massive liquidity drain on market makers. And not even just that, we had a big direct registration, DRS. Big run on direct registration a few weeks ago. And via my DMs, I calculated that just from the DMs I got from people saying they direct registered, if it's true, if they really did it, there was over 500,000 shares registered of AMC via our DMs via computer share. This is computer share. Computer share is the official transfer agent for AMC theaters, which you can find on their investor relations site. It's right at the bottom. It's super simple concept, you guys. There's a ton of FUD surrounding this with Citadel and blah, blah, blah. Citadel's in charge of the whole market. Whatever you're doing, Citadel has a hand in it. But computer share is the official contracted transfer agent for AMC theaters, which you can find right here. The truth of the matter is they have a fiduciary responsibility and a legal responsibility to keep the books proper for AMC for their stock count, right? For the share count. So what happens is every single share that you DRS is one share that cannot be lent out by brokers. It can't be shorted or lent out. I think my microphone's too high. I'll turn it down a little bit here. Man, my system's all messed up today. If you direct register one share with DRS, with computer share, direct registered, that is one share that cannot any longer be lent out by your broker. It can't be stolen. It can't be duplicated. It's a direct registered real share. Now, here's the FUD about all this going on is that Citadel has involvement in computer share, which they actually do, but Citadel is involved in everything. The entire market is run by Citadel right now, you guys. Any shares you buy most likely are being handled by Citadel. So that's just, you can't get away from that. It's the impossibility of getting away from them. And that's why we're doing what we're doing to fix the markets. Adam Aron actually talked about computer share and direct registration and the shareholder count and the earnings call. They have put it in earnings documents talking about how many shareholders are registered with computer share and how many shares have, I don't think they said how many shares have been registered, but they hinted around that, I think like 45,000 or so many shareholders had registered an accumulated number of shares. And they talked about that in the earnings. And a few people got emails from Dan Ellis, I think his name was. I think it's Dan Ellis, one of the directors at AMC Theaters. On that's your choice to do. If you want to do it, all you have to do is call your broker and say, I would like to direct register some AMC shares. You don't have to do them all. I'd recommend 10 to 20%. That way you have some in computer share and you have some in your broker in case something happens. You can sell either or. If you sell computer share shares, it takes a couple days to process. That's the only downside, but here's the deal with it. Everybody says, well, what if I want to sell my shares the day of because there's a huge squeeze and blah, blah, blah. Well, the whole thing is hodling, right? If you have your shares registered with computer share and they're harder to sell, then you're hodling longer. And if everybody does it, then everybody's hodling longer and the price will go up higher during the squeeze. That's the whole point. But you guys, the GME crowd is on top of this. They've DRS'd over 12 million shares. And look at their cost to borrow. It is through the freaking roof. Short interest is through the roof. The reason for that is when you direct register one share, that is one share that can't be lent out. So right here, here's your share that can't be lent out that you direct registered. The people who own institutionally, who own 100 million shares, now have to make up for the loss in lending volume by increasing the cost to borrow. If they can't lend out as many shares because they can't get them from your broker, then they have to increase the cost to borrow, which puts more pressure on the hedgies to give them more money to loan the shares out. That's the whole point. We want to squeeze them. Buying raw shares and direct registering them is the easiest way to squeeze them. It's how VW wasn't necessarily direct registration, but the VW squeeze started because Porsche started buying large chunks of shares of Volkswagen because Volkswagen had a lot of cash on hand and they wanted it. When they did it, all the short sellers got pinched. They got squeezed really hard because Porsche came in, bought some shares slowly, then bought a big block. And they owned the float basically, which caused short sellers to panic and close their positions, which caused the squeeze. Now with that, Porsche didn't have to direct register their shares because they're a big company. Any shares they own, they're going to make sure are legally on the books properly. So that's that. That's the whole payment for order flow, direct registration, blah, blah. On that, we got good news for AMC and Highcroft Mine. Adam Aron tweeted the other day, I expect Paramount will confirm today the exact numbers for Top Gun. This was May 31st. But he knew that AMC sold 3.3 million Top Gun tickets, both US and globally. more than any other cinema chain. That is huge. The brand is working. AMC is rocking. The importance of the 3.3 million people going to this movie by the 31st is that equates to almost $30 million in 5 days in concession sales. At 7.49 cents average per customer, which is probably higher, they probably actually brought in closer to $40 million in concession sales, not including the popcorn buckets. The popcorn tin that is absolutely awesome. If you have not seen Top Gun in theater yet, please go see it in IMAX, and please see it at AMC theaters. You do not want to miss it. Diane Garrett come out this week and last week talking about her trip to Europe. This week, I'm in Zurich, where I am delivering a presentation about Hycroft Mine at the Swiss Mining Institute. Looking forward to speaking with investors, both old and new. Sharing updates about the promising developments from back home in Nevada. And then she come up with the Swiss Mining Institute page. The importance of Diane Garrett being in Europe, talking to European mining investors and companies is huge. We know the assets that Hycroft Mine has. We know that retail supports it. Adam Aaron and Sprott own over 30% of the company right now. And when they exercise their warrants, they are going to jointly own over 50% of the company, not including Mudrick. So that is huge. The float is going to be wrapped up and locked in. So if you're not in Hycroft yet, this is just my opinion. I'm getting in as much as I can while the shares are cheap. This company used to trade at $16 when they weren't really doing anything past their IPO or whatever it was. It was SPAC or an IPO. I think it was an IPO. When they come out and renamed from Allied Nevada Gold. Now, the key is that all the waste dirt that Allied Nevada Gold classified as waste because they were only looking for cyanide soluble gold at the time because silver was so cheap in price. They're reclassifying as ore so they can run it through their new POX processing facility. Not to mention the heap leaching pads will continue to run for a few years. So they'll be making gold and silver product off of heap leaching while they now running the POX process, which will double their output production. And the beauty of it is the waste dirt that they're reclassifying as ore is already mined. All they have to do is mill it and run it. And they said that the viability and the visibility of solid gold in that waste dirt was there. They saw it. And that's the problem that Allied Nevada had. Gold and silver was so cheap at the time that any physical, visible gold to process it out of that dirt, to take it, and it just wasn't worth it for them. They wanted the cyanide soluble gold, and they weren't even looking for silver. They didn't even run assays on silver. They just classified it as waste dirt, and it was done. So we're going to run into a massive 2023 start with Hycroft Mine being full-scale commercialized operations with Dr. Diane Garrett back in the company, running the company, Adam Aaron and Sprott back in the company, and retail investors investing. So it's huge, you guys. I'm absolutely loving it. We'll check Hycroft real quick before I kick off here. Whole market's down today. Not surprised. Looked like it's taken the bounce off of our bottom again. That 135 range, that's beautiful. That is our second bounce since yesterday. Hopefully that stays our new support. We had a $1.54 run, which is beautiful. I'm looking to see a cup and handle finish out on a $1.90 from here when we had the nice $1.90 run down. I'm hoping to see it pop up, cup and handle, and run back up to the $3 range. We will get major catalysts by the end of the year. We have full-scale commercial operations, the mill and POX processing facility technical study being done in startup, and we still are owed probably 35 to 40% of the assays back from the lab who are backed up because of COVID restrictions in the past. They're looking like they're finding massive deposits of silver out there. There was one hole they drilled that they came back and said had a deposit where they rated it over 6,000 grams per ton of silver. That means every ton of ore, there is 6,000 grams of silver. That is insane. That is the freaking mother lode. So I'm in to win it. I'm still in AMC, rocking that hard. And I bought some GameStop a few weeks back when we were sitting around 80, 90 bucks. Loving it. It's my extremely positive position right now. And we're coming up on this nice, beautiful bull flag. We'll see what happens. I would love to see it run again. They did pass the GME stock dividend vote. I don't know what's going to happen with it or how many shares we're going to get, but they did pass it. It's a major catalyst. Don't forget, today is, I think it's June 3rd. Let me double check. Today is June 3rd. That means Executive Order 14032 goes into effect. Hedge funds by June 6th can no longer use certain Chinese assets to meet margin requirements to show liquidity on their books due to the CCP manipulating their currency and their companies. So this is a really bullish thing. Anyways, that's my Friday rundown, guys. I hope you have a really good day. Please go out and decompress this weekend. I know a lot of people are getting stressed out with this consistent fuckery that we're facing every day in the stock market. Things are happening. Melvin is closing down. Archegos, Bill Wang's arrested. He's squealing like a pig. And it looks like Tiger Global is next on the list. Mark Cahotis has been calling this out for over 6 months. Tiger will fall, and it will be one of the dominoes that triggers the biggest squeeze in history. I'm actually super bullish on everything right now. I think we have all the catalysts. We own all the stock, and we control this market that they've created. We came in to their battlefield and played by their rules, did the bare minimum and beat them. And that is because corruption never wins out. The bill always comes due, and it's coming due now. We are going to win. Stay strong. Ape Nation rocks. AMC to the moon, GME to the moon. Go out and see the movies. Go to Top Gun. Jurassic Park's coming up June 6th. I'm going to that. I got my double feature ticket for my NFT. I did get my Maverick NFT. It's purple helmet, and it's Cougar. Wasn't really happy about my win, but I still got one. Either way, Top Gun. Actually, let's check the box office real quick for Top Gun before I go. Top Gun Maverick box office. Yes. 200 million domestically. 200 million domestically on Top Gun. That is amazing. There was a user on Twitter that we had a few months ago. It was Venom something. I forgot his username. Super cool dude. He's a theater manager. Came out with really, really good info on everything. He was telling us that the theaters actually make more on admissions the week or two after opening because their admission rate goes up. The cost doesn't go up to go to the movie, but the theater makes more on the admission from the studio's take. So it's really interesting to know that. So if you go see it again or you go see another movie, don't feel bad about not seeing it the first week. Keep it alive, keep it supported. The fall off for Top Gun Maverick is absolutely minimal. We are going to have an insane Q2 for AMC, which I predict we could come close to profitability. I think they're guessing like negative 20 cents a share. I think the EPS is going to come in more to 5 to 10, if not positive, and we're going to blow up this market by doing it. Adam Aaron, I know, is probably pretty excited right now about the revenues coming in, and we still have Jurassic Park Dominion. Yes, can't freaking wait. I hope there's a T-Rex popcorn bucket I can stick my hand in and get my popcorn out. And don't forget, we have other major blockbusters coming out in Q3 and 4, one of which is Avatar: Way of the Water. It looks absolutely amazing. The movie industry is revitalized. The actors are revitalized and more motivated, and everybody wants to go back to the theater. Even Netflix is talking about having theatrical releases from here on out. I wanted to say one thing about Redbox. Everybody's talking about Redbox and the Redbox short squeeze and blah, blah, blah. Do a little bit of research on it. The first thing I noticed is Apollo Global Management owns most of the shares of Redbox. They are artificially creating a squeeze on Redbox that they are going to profit from by pumping retail money, by luring retail money into the play. It's going to squeeze out whatever shorts are in there are going to get blasted, and Apollo is going to make money off of it. But I think they set it up. And if you don't know the history of Apollo Global Management and AMC, you should really go back to some of the old Reddit DD and look it up. I don't like Redbox. I think it's a dangerous play, and I think it's initiated to move people away from AMC and GameStop. I really do. Apollo Global Management, bad news. Anyways, that's it. Friday, have a good weekend. I'm going to take the pup out, decompress, go to the movies, go to GameStop, play some video games, get high, whatever you do. Do it safely. We need all hands on deck. Love you guys.